You're listening to BoomBox Weekly.
What's up, y'all? We're here with another episode of BoomBox Weekly, and we have our very special guest of the day, former NFL player, actor, Nic Harris.
What's going on, guys? Thank you for having me.
Yeah. This is Adonis Armstrong, co-host today. Nic, he's a actor, stuntman. He also was in White Man Can't Jump. He's global. He's international. Oklahoma, runs his own football camps. He does it everything. You feel me? So tell us a little about yourself, Nic.
Oh man, listen, I'm just trying to be who I needed. Pretty much. That's pretty much who I am. I'm a broken soul stitched together with good intentions. And ultimately I just want to do my absolute best to leave this place that we call Earth better than I came and leave it better than I came into it.
Okay.
So you were in the football career and entertainment as well. What was your transition like from being an NFL player to now a professional actor?
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Ultimately, being a professional football player, you kind of want to leave the game on your own terms. Well, unfortunately for myself, I ended up having over 9 knee surgeries and my body kind of failed me. So I had to make a decision. And I found myself while making that decision, I was going for broke. I was using all of my funds to maintain my body so that I could train and continue to keep up with those that were under contract, hoping that I would gain another one. And I had to sit down and look myself in the mirror and figure out what it was that I wanted to do next. With that being said, by the grace of God, I got a phone call when I kind of made that decision. And the very first movie that I did was Best Man Holiday with Terrence Howard. Yeah, it was just wild by the grace of God. And I got a phone call and they asked me if I wanted to play choreographed football. And I had no idea what that even meant. So I took him up on that offer. We filmed for a week in Toronto and Buffalo. I ended up getting that check and I said, wait, I don't have to have a headache to make this perfect.
Speaking of, football, you do Madden as well. A lot of people don't understand it's real football players that go into making the actual game. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience working with EA Sports and Madden?
So, I've been under contract with EA Sports and Madden for about 10 years, a decade now. And a lot of people don't really understand that it's a real person that you're playing the video game with. They put us in the suit and you're working literally from about 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. an actual work day. You're playing football all day long. You lose about anywhere from 8 to 10 pounds. But it's a thrilling experience. So many people would love to be in that realm of making the plays and going over the choreography to make sure that the game is authentic as we possibly can have it.
Yeah.
So with the Madden game, do they select which football player you're going to be, or is it like a surprise when you actually play the game?
Ultimately, what they do is they give you a series of movements. And once you do those movements to the exact specifications that they want, then they can plug those movements into the game and you can virtually be any player in the game whatsoever. So, i.e., for the past 5 years, all of the back pedal defensive movements have been myself. And not to go too forward, but I've moved from the gameplay side to the animation side. And this year, I'm 100% Cap, which is the creative player. So there's going to be a process in this year's game that you can go and speak to your mentor. You can speak to your old coach, and all of those movements, eye line, voice, over 100% myself in this game. So my DNA has been all over the game for about roughly a decade.
Okay. We're going to keep it to football right now. You just had your Nic Harris football camp. I'm glad that you're giving back to the community. Can you just shine a light on that and what you do for the community?
My very first camp was in 2009, the year that I got drafted. And I just wanted to make a difference. I wanted to be who I needed. I took a brief hiatus because I was dealing with a bunch of injuries and trying to figure out what my next move was going to be. I wanted to bring it back because the gun violence in my home city of Alexandria, Louisiana, skyrocketed. And literally the kids had absolutely nothing to do. So it would be remiss if I didn't put together something, because at one point I was that kid, or I was those kids. So ultimately, myself, my two directors, we said that we'll figure it out. And without any financial backing whatsoever, outside of myself sending text messages to my friends and close friends about donations only, we have no sponsors, nothing. This past year, we had 118 kids with people that wanted to come in and see what we did with my nonprofit. And I plan to do it as long as I possibly can, for as long as they will have me. We had 118 kids with 115 degrees. And for the people that wanted to donate, whether it would be food, T-shirts, whatever we came short on, I came out of pocket.
Now, is this camp held in Los Angeles?
This camp is held in my home city of Alexandria, Louisiana. Usually the weekend. Yeah, it's usually the weekend after Father's Day.
That's a nice touch. Okay. Speaking of keeping it on football, how is it working on one of the best shows right now, All American? Because that's it's a hit show.
No, it's dope. I mean, because we get to see the same guys every time that we shoot, so we know what we're gonna get. We know that we're gonna get a quality product. We know that visually what the fans are gonna see is something that's amazing. And ultimately, it's one of those deals that it's like we just love what we do, and it's always a fun time.
Okay.
And how was it working in White Men Can't Jump?
That was a shout out to Game Changers. That's the stunt coordinating production company. They, I'm kind of like their golden goose. They use me for anything that they need whenever it's going to be a tough guy role or a scene or somebody that's a hardened character. I'm the number one guy that they bring to the table, and I love them because they've really kept me working and busy. White Men Can't Jump, Jack Harlow and Saquon was an amazing experience. And then to be able to see the finished product and to be able to see where it mounted up to with the original was very paramount, because in my opinion, I think the second version, not being impartial because I'm in it, but I think the second version is if it's not better than, it's extremely close to the very first one.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Well, we're going to take a quick little break and give a shout out to our proud sponsors, 24/7 Live Culture.
If you could create a show for yourself, a sports show, what type of show would it be?
Honestly, that's something that's in the works at the present moment. But for myself, I think that it would be very, very constructive to today's society to bring a show to the table to where the kid didn't make it. We always hear about these hero stories and how everybody did well and this, that, and the other. But like, there's a kid. Was it Jay-Z that said it? There's a kid better than Jordan who didn't get that break?
Yeah.
Right? And I think that would be very, very constructive to the kids now, especially these kids that think that they deserve a participation trophy.
Mm-hmm.
They want something for nothing, and to understand that we not all gonna make it. We're not all, we have these dreams and aspirations and this, that, and the other. And sometimes you don't get lucky. Sometimes things don't fall in your favor, and you've got to make the best of what you have in the time that you have it.
Like you said, when you were saying sometimes, you're not going to make it. And in this career, it's very hard trying to make it to your goals. What challenges have you faced in the entertainment industry? Like, you've had a successful career so far, but has there been any like big challenges?
100%. There's politics and everything. Ultimately, I've been placed off of projects because someone's uncle was the producer and they wanted their nephew to be this and that. You hear that type of, it doesn't matter. That type of stuff happens. Just like in the football world, the basketball world, in the entertainment industry, sometimes the better person don't get the job.
That's facts.
and that is reality. And the sooner a lot of people accept that, then they'll stop letting themselves down and continue to work to the next gig. A lot of people ask me, and not to get off topic, but a lot of people ask me, have you seen this that you were in? And we saw that. Listen, it's no disrespect to any project that I've ever done, but half of them I haven't even seen. Because I'm so focused on trying to better myself, better my craft, and get to the next project. A lot of people ask us, well, what's next? Yeah, a lot of people ask us all the time, like, what's next? We don't know. We can audition, we can submit, we can send everything to our agent. We don't know.
Literally, we don't know. It's just like, God, surprise us next. What's our next big break, God?
We don't know. What's the next move? I don't know. No idea.
Especially with the strike going on. I mean, everybody's texting, hey, you all right? You okay? I mean, I'm just trying to
Yeah, and it's nothing against anyone else. I don't know if you guys know, but I tore my Achilles back in February working on Bel Air. I just had landed co-star for this season. And the very first show, I tore my Achilles. I'm done until February of next year.
Adversity.
So,
which role were you playing in Bel Air?
So ultimately, this season, if you've seen it, it's a lot of basketball. It's a lot of jaw jerking. It's a lot of going back and forth and trying to harden will to be more of a better basketball player and a harder character. And that was going to be my job for about 5 or 6 episodes. We were going to play out in Venice, and like ultimately, that's how it's going to come down. It's like a kind of a tournament type of deal.
Gotcha.
Okay. Can you just give some game to the people that's trying to be in your position? Because I know you was talking about adversity. Everybody don't make it. Some people look for inspiration just to keep going. Can you just give some motivation to people who are watching this and want to be in your position?
Understand that it's not you. And what I say by that means that you could have done the best of work. You could have went to the best acting school, met every beat, every pause, understood what upstage did theater. But if in the event that they don't want you, then you won't get chosen. And but never use that as a deterrent. Always use it as kerosene or gasoline to fuel that fire more. And it's okay also to say no. That's another thing. A lot of people think they got to take every gig that comes along. No, because you can get typecast and they'll put you in you're only a Mexican drug lord, or you're only a security guard, or you're only this or this, that, and the other. Sometimes you can say, no, I want to bridge a gap to better myself, to be better for my next role. Because, and use each role as a leaping pad for the next.
Is it anyone that you work with the most that you're fond of, like your whole career in the entertainment business?
Someone that I've worked, Dwayne. When I worked on Ballers, he approached, and this is the point where he was filming the show and had 3 movies each year. He approached Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He approached every opportunity with the utmost professionalism. That is like, it's unheard of for the most part, which is why he could, demand and command the dollar amount. because you did approach everything, and not everything was the same, and how everything. And then I really appreciated how he did try to show with the show ball as a professional level of how things actually work. So in my opinion, being someone who made the crossover, it wasn't seamless, but I did make it. Ballers was the closest thing to what it's like as a professional football player than I've seen on television.
Yeah, Ballers is real. Yeah, it gets to the real stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So you're on a path, you're on a roll. Like, where's your ultimate goal? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years from now?
Honestly, I want to disappear. I want to attain at least two more major films. My first one was Focus with Will Smith, and my second one was American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story. I was Ray Lewis in that movie. And I want to get to a point where, like, I want to be as positive and as popular as I possibly can be. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I want to be able to disappear, because it is a rat race. Being in this industry, whether it's, you're on camera, you're behind camera, you're a singer or a rapper, it's a rat race. Everybody's looking for the next best thing. And we live in a society at the present moment where, I hate to say this, but talent isn't being appreciated. It's only popularity.
Literally. It's who likes you that day.
Facts. Speaking of popularity, you played a popular figure in American Underdog. Can you tell us a little about that? Was he on set? Did he coach you on his mannerism or anything? Or did you just tap in, watch a bunch of film, and just became him?
Didn't have to watch a bunch of film. Tapped in. He wasn't on set as much, but Kurt was. And if you play, we played the same position. So if you didn't, in my position, if you didn't know who Ray Lewis was, then you shouldn't have, which is why I got the part. Like, this was a part I didn't even have to audition for. I got a call and they were like, "Hey, listen, we got a role for you. Are you available?" So, shout out to that for sure, Coach Mike with Game Changers. But I think that, I didn't want to do him a disservice. So I did research, with the dance and everything and his mannerisms. And from my understanding, from what I was told, I was kind of spot on. So hopefully that's a testament to the work in which that I put in.
If you could change anything in the industry right now, what would it be?
With auditions, be honest with what it is that you actually want. If in the event the description says, "I want a professional football player," I shouldn't need to audition when you can Google.
I think
don't undermine.
I think sometimes people, higher ups, they just want to see what you can do. But at the same time, it's like, I played football my whole life. I do this because I know some I was like this at first when I was doing commercial football stunts and stuff like that. It's different from real life football. It's like they have to tell you what to do. Literally, like if they want you to get juked, you have to literally get juked how they told you.
Yeah, so, it's choreographed, but don't in the back end, you want an actor who looks like a football player. Put that actually in there, because then it's a cattle call. And us as actors, we don't want to be traversing all over Gardena, Pasadena, Santa Monica, you're not, and if you don't get the gig in that day, you wasted a tank of gas. Traffic is crazy here, and let's just be honest with it, and then you go in and all you do is slate. And you had to pay $10-12 for not to get a ticket. You know what I mean? Again, let's be very clear. I'm not trying to, seem ungrateful. I love what I do for a living, but just be honest with the descriptions. And also, going back to the people to give them advice, make sure that what agency you have, if in the event that you're starting to get a lot of no's, don't use as a deterrent. Try to pivot and figure out the relationship that your agency has with each producer or director, and start submitting yourself for those that you have close bond relationships with.
Yeah. And I know sometimes when they have us auditioning, they already know who they're going to pick. You know, they just have to have a certain amount of quota. So
it's just like in the NFL. I got drafted to a team. They already knew who they were going to play. Doesn't matter how well I did.
No, facts. They literally could have it casted and they're shooting tomorrow and still make you audition the day before.
Yeah. I mean, we can gripe about it, but we love what we do. The checks come, the residual payment, the mailbox money, as we call it, that comes in. We love it. And then to be able to, for my family to be able to point me out and be like, oh, that's my baby, or that's my grandchild, or this, that, and the other. Like, I love it. I get the same feeling from that I got when I ran out of the tunnel on Sundays, and I saw my family after the games. So let's be very clear. I'm extremely grateful to be in a position that I'm in at the present moment. But ultimately, I think that, you know, every system is not perfect, and we do what we can with what we have.
Yeah, true. No, because it is a great opportunity. It's like the best feeling in the world when you see yourself on TV.
100%.
And
let's talk. I know you played in the league. Aren't you like an ambassador sponsored by the NFL? Like you take trips?
So so ultimately I served as a West Coast liaison for the PA, and I would be able to take trips to different conventions to see what benefits that we had to make sure that the younger guys understood their opportunities that are out there. Because a lot of guys leave the league and they don't know about unemployment. They don't know about their benefits. They don't know about how they can go and continue training until they get picked up by a new team. They don't know that they can go and understand there's a certain level of maturation that you need. Maybe this is a setback momentarily for you to understand where you need to be in the future. So ultimately, that's one of those deals that I served, and it was amazing for me to be able to travel, retain the information, and then regurgitate that information to the younger guys to help them understand more.
Okay. Can you just let the people know where they can find you? Instagram, Twitter, et cetera, et cetera. Just a little
I'm with Movement Talent Agency. If you want to read everything is listed, mta.com. My IG is at Nic Harris 5, at NIC, no K, HARRIS, and the number 5. And I'm pretty open. Everything is public. What you see is what you get. And if anybody's told you anything about me, believe them. I act accordingly.
Straight like that.
He said, believe him. I will say Nic is he's a dope person. You know what I'm saying? I've known him for a couple years now. Met him on set of a commercial audition when there were hundreds of people in the room. Like he said, you go in there, you slate, you probably scream 10 times, and then it's over. It's a wrap. You don't get the part, somebody else got it, and you go home.
Yeah, and then you see the commercial, and you're like, wait a minute, you know? Yeah, so it's dope gig though. You meet some authentic people, and you meet some people that you're like, okay, I never want to be that person, but it's part of the game. And
it builds character.
It does. It really does.
Man, I appreciate you coming on, Nic. You know, it's all love here. Pretty sure we're going to talk again. Hope bless you on more endeavors, especially on the movie that you was talking about a little bit, elaborating. Hope that comes into fruition, be a big box success. You know what I'm saying? Keep working, man.
And likewise, man, to everybody and that's listening, to the two of you, all 100% of success. And if in the event that you ever want to contact me to get any information, I'm open book. Like if each one teach one, if I win, we all win, and vice versa.
Amen, amen. Well, thank you guys for watching BoomBox Weekly.
Adonis, and I'm out. Tap in.
You're listening to BoomBox Weekly.